Number 13 from 88 Films Asia range comes The Brave Archer. A 2-hour sprawling Shaw Brothers epic that has some wonderful scenes and some complete oddities along the way. This movie doesn't have any archery in it, for starters. I don't know why it's called The Brave Archer. Maybe as the series goes on, because I understand this is a series of movies. But at the start of this movie, we get introduction scenes to a wealth of characters. Some who will appear later on in the movie, some who will never appear again. That's them. They just had an introduction sequence. It's literally a studio as we move through factions of people where they do a little pose and a little thing comes up at the bottom saying who they are. Weird. And I thought I was getting a fairly simplistic story when this started. We have two kind of rebels who have had families at the same time, two young children. They are killed for something that wasn't their fault. We get this group of people that save the children, and they decide to split them and take them away to train them for 18 years in the forms of martial arts, and then after 18 years we'll come together, let the two of them have a duel and see who is the better martial artists. That sounds about as simple as I can put it, and it is far from that. This has a wealth of characters all the way through it, and for me it was fairly hard to keep track of who everybody was and what they were up to. Luckily, there are some absolutely fantastic fight sequences throughout the movie to keep you entertained. They're varied, they're different. I love the locations and the sets that we have in this one. They're very tactile and add a lot to the look of the movie. I kept liking how we were jumping from various characters, and characters would suddenly reinvent themselves as well. And it's one of these kind of sprawling epic movies where it's got so much going on, you almost feel like you're going to need a second watch to try and pinpoint the story beats of the movie. But there was lots of things I really enjoyed about this one. Our kind of main character, the brave archer, who doesn't do any archery, who meets up with a kind of street urchin, and they form a bond, and that kind of continues through the movie, and a wonderful exploration of that relationship, which was the kind of key to the movie for me. Right up to the finale, which is unexpectedly awesome, and no way could anybody guess how this movie was going to end. And it's not a spoiler per se, it's just a wonderful antithesis of the movie as we get to the finale here, and it ends with a drum solo. I'm just going to let that sink in for a moment. An actual drum solo battling a flute. It's just awesome. And that's the way the movie kept defining itself and changing things up. And even though we get to this kind of finale, which is ridiculously silly yet wonderful, really effective and really expertly shot, I felt uplifted. I loved the end of this movie, and I don't get a lot of threads tied off. There's still a lot of open threads at the end of this movie, storylines that need to be fixed and finished at certain points, but the movie left me on such an ecstatic high that it didn't even bother me that we were missing these things. It's a beautiful movie. It looks great. The costuming, the sets design is just awesome. The characters are all wonderful. The interchanging different kinds of fighting is wonderful to see. I love how they're variously staged and add a lot to the presentation. And the finale is just so goddamn smile-inducing weirdness. I just loved it. I'm kind of curious about going checking out the further movies in this series, because I believe they continue the story and finish off the kind of tales that I'm missing from this one. It really was a hell of a lot of fun. Yeah, The Brave Archer. Have you seen it? I'd love to know your opinion. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.